As you probably already know, I will not be mentioning any companies or products during the training. But I will tell you this, that I've been with the same company now for 25 years. And I've started out by sponsoring 4 distributors. And those 4 distributors has grown to 1,400,000. And 95% of all those distributors came from the original 4. So that's got to tell you something right up front here, that you do not have to, note the word recruit, a lot of people to build a large organization. What you need to do is sponsor and teach your people to duplicate. Now, if you're new and you don't know what that means, when you duplicate, that means when you sponsor someone, you help them go 3 or more levels deep. When you do that, you're duplicating. And if you don't duplicate, you will never, ever, ever build a large business. It's impossible. I think a lot of you have already read my book. For those who haven't, Napkin Presentation 4 talks about what your business should look like. I mean, it should look like the biggest building you've ever seen in your life. And that represents a huge income for you. But you cannot see the building and you cannot see the income until you do the foundation. Well, the foundation has to be deep. So if you're not duplicating, you don't get a deep foundation, you'll never put up a big building and you'll never make a lot of money. I'll give you an example of what's happening in the industry. A non-sales type recruits a salesperson thinking they're going to get rich because that salesperson can bring in a lot of people, which they can do. In 6 months to a year, note the word recruit, 50 to 100 people. But at the end of the year, you look at their genealogy and they have not duplicated themselves in one place. Okay, not one, well, maybe they're 1 level deep in a few places, but you got to be 3 or more levels deep to be duplicated. So what happens is now, they think there's something wrong with the company, the product, the market plan, or whatever, but someone shows them another hot program and they're off to the races on another program, okay? Guess what happens after a year? Still, no duplication. Now they're ready to go on to their next program. You're going to meet people who've been in 2, 3, 4 or more programs and they've never made it. And if you meet these people, just let them know that they did not fail doing network marketing, because see, they never did network marketing. They got into network marketing and they did sales, and that doesn't work. I'll give you an example of a person named Jimmy the Butcher Smith. He was a butcher for something like over 40 years, had to retire because of a back injury. He got into network marketing, said he loved network marketing, but he never did network marketing. He was in a different program every year for 10 years. Never made hardly any money at all. He came across my training and he learned that we do not recruit people to sell, but we sponsor and teach people to duplicate. And as a result, when he was 70 years old, he was already then worth 35 million. And when he got to 92, he was worth 90 million. First time I talked to him and so forth, I to get a testimony from him, which he did for me, but he was so appreciative of what he had learned from me, what he had done for his life and his family. He invited Nancy and I to go on a company cruise. It was out of New Orleans. We live in San Diego. Within 3 days, he paid for the cruise. He paid for the airfare. Spent a whole week with him on the cruise. And he didn't spend 2 minutes the entire time talking about his company, product, and market plan, which of course is his vehicle. All he wanted to talk about was the numbers and the duplication and multiplication and so forth. So anyway, give you another quick testimony. A guy by the name of Jordan Adler. He's the #1 distributor now in the company he's with. He was in network marketing for 11 years. And he could never sponsor anybody because he kept trying to recruit people to sell. And as you're going to learn here, that, people just don't want to sell, okay? Well, he actually came across my book in a garage sale, and he bought it for 25 cents. And he's now a multi-millionaire. See, 100% of the people in the world who are not in network marketing do not understand it. 80 to 90% of the people who are in it don't understand it. And you'd be amazed how many company owners don't understand it. And, I'll give you a personal testimony now. Okay, you heard that I started, 25 years ago with the company and grew to 1.4 million. What I didn't tell you is that the company is a health company. And over the 25 years I've been with the company, by accident, I actually have sold one product. Some people were visiting at my home. The product was on the counter in the kitchen. They saw it, asked what it was. I told them, and they wanted to buy it. It's the only thing I ever sold in 25 years. But my volume last month, for my organization, people trying to Skype me, I just hang up on them. My volume for my organization last month was over 14 million. And I will end up doing over 150 million this year. And I never, ever recruited anybody to sell anything. All I did was sponsored and taught people how to duplicate. And again, duplication is when you sponsor someone and you go 3 levels deep. I want to talk about your market now. What that means is that if you think you're selling health products, you've got a really small market. See, only 15% of the people in the world at any given point in time are either sick, hurt, or into health. And that breaks down to 8% of the 15% are really into health. And anyone argue that, I say, well, take a, look at all your health food stores in town and the square footage and compare that to all the supermarkets in town. You're not even going to have 8%. So number one, if you think you're selling health products, you got a small market. You've got a lot of competition, okay? Because people don't understand network marketing, and all these new companies starting up, and there are a lot of new companies starting up, okay? They spend millions of dollars developing a line of health products. They get ready to go to market. They all make the same mistake, and that'll be the cause of the failure. 90% of all the new companies that start up do not make it past the second year. And the reason why they don't make it is the mistake they make is they recruit a sales manager. Now, this sales manager had never sponsored a person in network marketing before, never built a business in network marketing before. So why do they recruit a sales manager? Well, number one, they don't understand network marketing, and they recruit the sales manager to recruit people to sell their products. So you're going to totally understand this by the time I get through here. They'll never make it doing that. Just, it can't happen. So you got a small market. You got a lot of competition. Now here comes the biggest problem. 95% of the people want nothing to do with selling. On the news in America here about a number of months ago, they were talking about this, and they said only 4.7% of the people in America want anything to do with selling. So I'll give you something to think about. You've got 90% of the people in network marketing looking for that 4.7% of the people that can't make it. Now, when I say they can't make it, if you know some salespeople, they can be huge in network marketing under 2 conditions. They've got to forget about sales, period, and they've got to learn network marketing because they're different and they don't know it, okay? Now, talk about the activities, okay? That means how many people do you have in your organization right now? And out of all those people you have in your organization, how many of them are actively building a business? Okay. A number of months ago, we had a Zoom call. After the call, I asked this woman how many people she had. She said 500. And I said, gee, that's great. Well, how many of them are actively working your business? Got really quiet for about 10, 15 seconds. She said 10. Well, the average for the industry is about 5. Okay, a little bit less than 5 are active. Okay, so you can imagine why virtually all the companies in the world get to the point where they'll start going down. And the reason they're going down because they don't spend any time teaching people how to drive. See, when you know how to drive, that means you understand network marketing. And that's why my book has sold over 11 million copies, because when people read it, they understand network marketing, then they know how to drive. And I'll be talking about how to drive in a little bit now. So anyway, to build a large business, it's really quite simple, okay? And when you see what I'm going to teach you, it's something anybody can do. There are basically 2 elements to build a large business. The first one, you've got your vehicle. And we got people here from all different vehicles, okay? And the vehicle is your company, your product, and your marketing plan. Okay, well, you can have the hottest vehicle in the world, but if you don't know how to drive the vehicle, you're not going to go anywhere, okay? We have an analogy that makes this really easy to understand and remember. If you owned a brand new Lamborghini or Ferrari, would you let your best friend go for a drive around the block in it if they didn't know how to drive? Okay. Nancy and I, my wife and I, did training seminars in over 35 countries, and we've asked hundreds of thousands of people that question. 100% say, no way would I let somebody drive my brand new Lamborghini or Ferrari if they don't know how to drive it. Now look at what's happening in the industry. People recruit people to sell, okay? And they'll spend literally days, weeks, and months trying to teach people how to sell who don't want to sell, but they don't even spend 1 minute teaching them how to drive the vehicle. So that's where the problem is in the industry. And when we did those training seminars in those 35 countries, always ask the people, when they sponsored a new person, how much teaching and training time did it take you before that new person could sponsor somebody? Can you teach them enough in like 1 or 2 hours? And they say, no. How about 2 or 3 days? No. And I'd say, well, how many of you have been like 2, 3, 4 months? And they still haven't sponsored me. Over half the people would raise their hand. And they raise their hand, I say, do you want to know why they haven't sponsored anybody? The answer is really simple. Because they don't understand network marketing. That's how simple it is. So we have a system, an app, and technology now where when you see what I'm going to teach here in a few minutes, you're going to be able to do in 2 to 5 years what took me 25 years to do. And it's so simple, absolutely anybody can do it. And there's a secret to the system, and that is we teach people not to talk. Because see, the more you talk, the more people think they can't do what you're doing. And the more you talk, the more they think they don't have time to do it. So I'll give you one more analogy here. Once you understand what I'm going to be teaching you, it's like I hand you the keys to the vehicle. You can get into the business right then, today, and start going down the freeway, sponsoring and learning about your company, product, and marketing plan while you're building your business. The people who are recruiting people to sell, it's like they have to take lift up the hood on the vehicle, take the entire engine apart, put it back together again before they can even talk to someone. That's why it takes them days, weeks, and months before they can actually start doing it. So anyway, let me show you how this works. Okay, we have a hat that says own your life, and we wear a pin that says own your life. And if you don't have a hat or you don't have a pin, I'm going to show you exactly what to say, okay? And incidentally, you can get these hats virtually made anywhere, okay? So let's say that you're talking to a friend or someone you just met. Now, for the person you just met, don't try to do what I'm going to teach you until you've made a connection with them. Ask them some questions, find out what they want, okay? Let them know a little bit about you. Make a connection with them, because if you don't make a connection with them, don't even try it, because it's not going to work. You'll be wasting your time. Now, this is all I'm going to be saying to you about talking to a stranger, because once you understand how this works and you realize that absolutely anybody you know can do this business, once they understand it has nothing to do with selling, you have so many people to talk to, you'll never be able to get to all of them. Okay, so now let's say that you're talking to a friend. During the course of the conversation, simply ask them, and you can write this down right now if you want. Ask them this question: have you ever thought about what it would be like if you could own your life? And that's having time, money, and health. And did you realize that most people, they don't even know one person that has all three: time, money, and health? Young people like millennials, they're making $60,000 to $100,000 a year. They have a little bit of money, but they don't have any time because of their job, commute, things they have to do, and their health's okay. Older people, they've got a lot of time, but their health's going bad, okay? And they're running out of money too, okay? So it's a simple question. How would you like to be able to have time, money, and health at a time in your life when you could enjoy it with your family, okay? So now, what could they possibly say? They could say, Don, gosh, I just want to keep my stupid, dead-end, boring job and work the rest of my life and end up broke. But what most people will say, gosh, that sounds interesting. Can you tell me more? Okay, now, that is the end of step one of a three-step system, and it took less than 1 minute. Anybody can learn a 1-minute presentation. And if you can't learn it, write it down on a card and have somebody read it. Because that, once you got through step one and they say, tell me more, then it's real simple from there, because see, the tools will do all the talking for you. Not some of the talking, all the talking, okay? So you go to step two, talk to this person, and all you got to do is say, look, if you'd really want to own your life, have time, money, and health, okay, you need to understand network marketing. And then you tell them that 100% of the people in the world in it don't understand it, that aren't in it don't understand it. 80 to 90 in it don't understand it. And you'd be amazed how many company owners don't understand it. So what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to send you the first 5 chapters of the best-selling book in the world so you can understand it, and then you'll know how to drive. So how do you want me to send it to you? By print or audio or both? Okay, simple question. Now, why is audio so important? Well, if you go to any town in the world during commuter time, look at the traffic, 90% of the vehicles have one person in them that hates their commute, most of them do, and they hate their job, and they're going to spend the rest of life working and end up broke anyway, okay? So bottom line, we don't, they need to be in network marketing, okay? And they can change their whole life by taking their mobile device with them in their vehicle, okay? They can listen to the 5 chapters of the book while they're on their commute. while you're fixing dinner, while you're jogging, while you're walking your dog. All kinds of ways that you can change your life while listening to it. So that's why it's important to have the book in the audio. So anybody can do it. Now, I've been in the industry for over 50 years. And the number one excuse people have historically in the industry to get you off their back is they'll tell you they don't have time. How many of you ever heard someone tell you they don't have time? Not a valid excuse, folks, but we don't need their time, okay? 1 minute, that's all we need. Because after the 1 minute, it's their time to listen to it or read the book, okay? Now, what I want to do right now is give you an idea with what we've developed here with the app system and technology. Because before we had this, people would buy my book. They wouldn't just buy one book, they'd buy 5, 10, 20 books, and they'd loan them out to people and so forth. But I want you to focus on what it would cost today, for example, just to buy one book. You pay for the book, okay? But then unless you live next door to the post office, you've got to drive to the post office. Well, I don't know how much gas is where you guys live, but $7 a gallon here in California, in most places, it's going to go to 10 pretty quick before you know it. So you add that to the cost of the book, and now your time has value. How long did it take you to drive to the post office and back? Okay. You stand in line at the post office, you purchase the stamps, and then you mail it out, and you wait 5 days for the person to get it, okay? So you call them in 5 days, and you say, have you received the book? And they say they have. Have you read it yet? They say they have. They lied to you. They didn't read it. That's what's called cooling off. Because see, from the time you talk to them to the time they received it, okay, they've already lost interest. That cannot happen anymore. Because see, with the app, you can actually send the app to them while you're talking to them on the phone. So when you hang up, they already have the 5 chapters, so they can start reading it right as soon as you hang up if they want to. Now, if you like that idea, you're going to love this, that when they start to read, you're going to get a ping on your mobile device letting you know they started to read. If they hang up before they finish the 5 chapters, you get another ping saying they partially read. When they finish reading it, you get another ping saying they finished reading it. So how cool is that? You can call them like 10, 20 minutes after they finish reading it, and you don't have to ask them if they read it because you already know they did. Total talking time. From the time you ask them, have you ever thought about owning your life? Ask them, how do you want me to send you the book? And have them go to watch, Jeff Romaldi do the demonstration. Your total talking time, less than 10 minutes total. Compare that to what people are spending days, weeks, and months trying to teach people how to sell. It doesn't work, okay? So once they've gone through the 3 steps, now they know how to drive. Now they're ready to see your vehicle. Never, ever show or talk about your vehicle until they've gone through the 3 steps. If they ask you, well, what are you selling or what's your company or something, and you tell them, you lose. Because when you hang up the phone, they're going to go to Google and they're going to look up your company. And I don't know how many products your company has, but whatever they have, they're going to see all these products. They're going to think you're trying to sell it to them, get them to sell it for them. They're done. You're done with them, okay? So don't go there. If someone asks, very seldom will someone ever ask you that. But if they do, what I would tell a person is if I were selling anything, it's an opportunity for you to own your life and have time, money, and health. So now they go to your vehicle and you go there the way you've always gone. Send them to your website and so forth. And that's pretty much it. Okay, what we're going to do now, I'm going to take a photo and I'll tell you why we're doing it. And then after that, I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to do in 2 to 5 years what took me 25 years to do. So anyway, Adriana will take the photo. And let me tell you why we do this. Someone, when we first started doing these Zoom trainings about a year ago, said, can we take your photo? I said, fine. And then they said, can we post it on Facebook? And I said, well, fine, but don't mention your company or product because we want to stay neutral. Okay, now what happened is that, you know, some of these people have on their Facebook 1,000 friends, 2,000, 4,000, whatever. And maybe they've been in the industry for 5, 10, 15 years. And a lot of their friends, a pretty good percent, had been in network marketing years ago, but they're not in it anymore because they didn't like to sell. They're all gone. So what do you want to get those people back? Call them up. We call this the apologetic approach. Just call them up and say, whatever their name is, you know, we haven't talked for, you know, several years. And the reason I'm calling you, I just wanted to call up and apologize. Do you notice how powerful silence is? Okay. Because they're wondering, why are you apologizing? So you tell them, well, remember many years ago where I got you in that network marketing program? Well, you know, let me tell you, I didn't know what I was doing because I was trying to teach you how to sell. And I had an opportunity of going to a training and learning from one of the top distributors in the world the right way to do the business. And it has nothing to do with selling. And if I would have been able to present it the way I've learned about it now, then you'd be already retired, okay? But it's still not too late because the person that taught this, he's teaching how you can do in 2 to 5 years what took him 25 because of the system and technology and app we have now. And if you're interested, I can send you a Zoom training, it's like 30 minutes. You watch this. When you see how you can do it and realize that anybody can do and build a business once they understand they don't have to sell. Folks, you'd be amazed how many people respond to that. Amazing.